Hi guys, Brett here from Hearns Hobbies.
Have we started?
We're starting.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Do you want to go again?
I should have been. No, I'm good with this.
We're good.
I'm good. I think the people like it when we're caught off guard.
Well, you are Tony Gray.
I am.
And we're from Hearns Hobbies.
We are from Hearns Hobbies.
And today
we've got a toy to play with.
We are going to do a dual unboxing. Well,
Yeah.
there's one box, but there's the two of us doing it.
Yeah.
Have a look at that.
Look at that. It's just like
The Tamiya Racing Buggy Champ.
Racing Buggy Champ.
Racing Buggy Champ. And
Racing-
this is based on the SRB.
Well, that's what
Yes.
the chassis is called, the special racing buggy. This was originally called the Rough Rider,
Rough Rider.
not those brand of prophylactics that you prefer.
And what year was it released, do you reckon?
1979.
Really, 79. So this is very early on, and I can see by the top of the box here, TFG, it was first re-released in 2009.
But it's been popular and they've just kept it going, which is really good.
But it's something that probably not a lot of people would see, and maybe this day and age, heaps of people aren't interested in, because people don't buy these and take them to the track, do they? I've never seen one go.
No, not
in my
at all.
30 odd years.
And I've never even driven one.
So let's knock the top off
Oh,
and have a closer look.
look at this. This is a fine thing.
Look at this, there's metal in there.
I think the first thing for most people to see is it's not a clear Lexan body.
They wouldn't have had Lexan back in those days, would they?
Oh, they did.
They did?
They did. But this is like
Nice and tough.
It's not like Tamiya. I don't know what they're doing when it comes to making
Injection
plastic molding.
They've been injection moulding since the 40s,
Of course,
right?
they've been injection moulding since before there was injection moulding.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how long they've been.
You heard
doing
it here first.
Yeah.
So what else have we got here? Let's move over a little
So
bit.
many things that this
This is back when they cared about packaging, right? They didn't care about the environment.
That was the joy of the early Tamiya kits, the blister pack. There was a bastard to get everything out, but you could open it up and just look at it and it would go, oh.
And we've got cast metal parts in here.
This is die-cast zinc, I think. I can't
We've got
remember.
2 spur gears. Is it for different gearing options?
Well, given that it's got different sizes, yes.
Yeah. Comes with ball bearings. That would have been pretty fancy back in the day.
Very
Can't
not
guarantee
sure
whether they did.
the original one came
That's back
with.
in 1979. Bearings would have been like $7.50 each.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it cost you like $100 to do this. And you can see there's so many metal parts everywhere, all the way through it.
Yeah.
That was considered the state of the art back then.
Yeah. So we've got torsion rear suspension and like a wound coil front inboard spring.
Yeah. So there's no springs on the shocks, at all. So it looks
even
weird.
the wheel adapters, and these were carried over to later Tamiya models, like Frogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
These are cast alloy though.
Yeah.
And the other cars,
Everything's
they were
cast.
plastic. Roll cage parts. Look, cast alloy.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Suspension arms,
the
upper
whole-
and lower.
The whole thing is so cool. I love the cast metal bits, even though they're awful.
And this is a very humble Mabuchi RS540.
Oh.
And probably the state of it, you wouldn't want to put anything else.
No, because I don't think it'd last with a 4.5 turn.
Well, let's pop it down here. Oh! Don't break
We've
it.
got to put this back on the shelf.
Well, we won't tell the person who's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Got some wheels. These are plastic.
They're okay.
These are like the beadlock wheels.
Yeah.
So Tamiya also did those on other models. Front wheel bearings, rear wheel bolts up to the adapter. Look at this. And this is probably for the battery tray, right? Because the old one would have been the old grey hump pack.
With the humpy
so it
thing.
had five along
And one
on top. One on top would sort of hold it in place, right?
Yeah. Whereas, so you're obviously not going to use one of them now. So you put the bit of foam in.
And put a shorty or something in there.
I reckon
Radio
a
pack.
shorty will go in there easily.
Driver. What's his name? Rob Mitchell.
Rob Mitchell.
Rob Mitchell
It's
Racing.
not as good as some of the other Tamiya driver names.
They're pretty funky, aren't they?
Eager Ted Edwards.
Eager Ted Edwards. Circumference. Was that
Circumference?
Circumference. That's somebody that we knighted, isn't it?
Yes. Indeed. I'm not sure he was
Officially licensed.
Yeah.
Oh. Body.
Look, bit of roll cage. That's a bit
That's
that
to
goes over
protect
the
your
rear.
540, isn't it?
Yeah. This is super.
Oh wow! Look at the clear. I know it's not going to show up on camera very well, but look at even the switch, the big old rubberized switching
Everything's
in the top.
in the. Actually, there's a.
That's solid. This thing would float.
I thought there was a hint of yellow in that clear, but it's not. It's just reflecting off this.
Yeah, just reflecting.
For a minute, I was thinking, oh, it's yellowed
So
already.
Tamiya plastics, made in Japan. I love that. That is pretty cool.
So you put that in, so you can see everything inside, and it's really, really
There's
good.
instructions on the box before you even get to the instructions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look here.
Let's have a look at that. Good.
Look at that. Basic rules for RC car use. Avoid running the car in the streets and crowded areas. Oh, we thrive on that.
Or in a crowded house.
Not bad musically.
Yeah.
Make sure no one else is using the same frequency. It's not something that we've had to worry about the last 25 years, is it?
No, it isn't. I like the
2.4
fact
gig.
that they've still included it.
That's right. It wouldn't have been a problem in 2009 even.
I don't know whether that was actually in the original kit or not.
Disconnect battery when not in use.
Yep.
Charge battery correctly and do not modify the battery or charger. Avoid continuous running.
Oh, I can't run for more than about 30 seconds anyway.
No, you'd be puffed after 30
Yeah, I'd
seconds.
be absolutely knackered.
Hey?
Yeah.
I've seen you drop a donut, bend over and puff getting back up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I usually just lay down and eat it. It
Off the
saves
floor.
off the floor.
Like a hungry hippo.
Oh, now you're talking hungry hippos.
Look at this, you've got
Look
a
at the
case.
gearbox casing. How good is
Proper
it?
engineering, huh?
And this thing does not have a diff.
No diff.
No, which is probably part of the reason they're pretty awful. But look at the unis; they're massive.
All pressed together,
But they're
held with a grub screw and a flat.
they're more like a legitimate full size car uni.
That's really cool.
Nowadays they've moved on. But
Scale type tyres. These are also on other things, wasn't they? Like the Subaru Brat and that.
Yeah.
Had the same sort of tyres.
well, there was a couple of other cars that used the SRB chassis, the Sand Scorcher, the F-150, and it was modified over its lifetime. They kept changing little bits and pieces to upgrade the durability, mainly because it used to fall apart.
Look at the artwork on the box. Now, if I was a cleverer man, I would have bought a 9-steps knife in here
Yeah, well, you didn't.
to cut this one open.
Here's
So,
one.
if you've ever built a Tamiya kit, you know, you always get like the special box in there, don't you? I don't know what you call
Special
it. I call
racing
it
box.
the special box, whether it's a
special
frog, a
racing.
hornet, a grasshopper, any of them. They all
Yeah.
have this. And that's where they put all the good parts.
Yeah.
Let's have a look
Let's
what's
have
in
a
there.
look in here.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. That's cool. That's never going back
Again,
in.
more metal bits. These are the bits that
Look
run
at that
across the
bumper.
front.
This is going to whip your toe off quicker than anything. Not exactly a crumple zone here, is it?
The beam front axle was basically modelled on the VW Beetle.
Yes. Yes,
'Cause
absolutely.
This car is very much a scale car in that it reflected the actual buggies that were racing at the time. So that's why they've designed it the way they
We
did.
just don't have antennas like this anymore, do we?
No.
I sort of miss it.
Which is good
This
because
cool.
you used to whop yourself, your
All the
car up
time.
and bong yourself.
Is that a bit of FRP?
A bit of FRP.
Wow. That would have been ahead of its time back then. Bit of circuit board.
Yep.
Reusable cable ties for the battery, I'm tipping?
Yes.
Battery man or something?
We've got a nice, lovely bent aluminium.
Roll cage? Yeah,
No.
it's part of the roll cage assembly at the
Yeah.
top. So that goes
So it's just
inside
like
the
that.
body.
Yeah.
Look at that. Solid alloys bar.
And
What have we got there? We've got some damper units.
Yep.
Far cry from the modern damper units.
Now, of course, the rear on this car doesn't. There's no springs on the outside like what we're used to.
No.
This uses the torsion bar, which runs down
Through
along
the
and
chassis.
back, and you can actually change.
Change the preload.
There are the torsion bar springs there.
Put it on the camera over here.
Yeah, on there,
Here you go, look at that. The torsion bar's inside there.
and the front
And
springs.
the front
are
round
these
springs.
are these bendy ones?
And they're inside the front arms.
So from the outside of the car, you can't see any springs at
And
all.
this round looking thing here, this is the servo saver. It's like a key ring. A bizarre concept. I've never seen one. I've never seen one of these cars in person. Maybe that's a challenge.
I'm sure.
Look at the big rubber dunga. Hey, that looks like something you'd play with on a Friday night.
Oh, geez, only 2 days to go too. I can't wait.
You're never more than 2 days away from a Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of pinions, so you can change the gearing.
Yep.
Couple of pinions in there. Look at the body. That's a machined solid piece. Body mount, I want to say. There you go. What else have we got here? Proper nuts and bolts. Anybody knows these 2.6
Oh.
mil threads. These are for the nylock. These are for the bead lock wheels. Painful.
Look at it. You got the shaft with the brass gear pressed on. It looks like
Pressed on. But that's okay because everything else in the gearbox is plastic, so it's probably going to last. If it was brass on metal, that would probably
that wouldn't last.
Wouldn't last very long.
The SRB series were the basis for many a serious race car. People would buy them, and there was even a 4-wheel drive conversion.
SRB? Really?
Not a Tamiya one. I can't remember. I think in Australia, Team Pit Stop sold them, the Taipan, I think it was. I could be completely and utterly wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were based on the SRB.
There's that big god-awful survey saver.
Yeah.
Quality piece of engineering back in '79.
I mean,
Damper
like
units.
I said, they did upgrade these over time, but they kept the whole basic design, and they were faithful to it in the re-re's.
Now we do have here some hex fasteners, and I'm tipping that these weren't part of the original.
Oh, I'm tipping you're right.
Hex bolts wouldn't have existed in '79 so much,
I like
would
the
they?
fact we've got an antenna tube as well as the big bendy wire antenna.
There you go. Look at
So
that.
you've got a bit of everything. It was
And some more. I can't believe how much steel and alloy hardware is in this kit. Let's have a look at the instructions. The good bit.
the good bit.
The good bit.
That was interesting looking through because I've never built one of these.
There's the plastic tub. Look, I'm going to zoom right in there. There's the
Yeah.
plastic tub. And the big donga switch.
Yep. It doesn't call it that surprisingly.
No.
I thought they would have. But there you go.
That makes sense. Well, instructions don't always make sense.
No. Well,
to me.
maybe they do, it's just not to us.
Let's have a look.
Look at that. So you just
Little read before assembly.
Good. Yeah, sure. Now we'll just wing
Bumble
it.
your way through it. So this is the transmission, and here we are seeing the lack
They're just
of
gears.
differential.
Yep, there's just
So
gears.
here is the final drive of the bottom gear, what we usually call diff gear, just a solid hex axle straight through. And that's got 2 flats on it that you do the universals on. That's cool. And that's into your alloy cases that we showed before.
So it looks like it's a 5-minute job to assemble the whole gearbox. It's just nothing to it. Then those big chunky universals.
Look at all the case screws holding it together.
And it's weird that they've got universals here, whereas normally we just have the outdrive with a dog bone going into it.
That's right.
But no, we've got universals.
So now that the transmission's assembled, you put on the rear suspension arms, and
that's a swing axle thing, which is like, again, from the Beatles.
from the Beatles.
Yeah, Beatles. Because
Not the musicians.
No,
No, the Volkswagens.
the Volkswagens.
Independent rear end
Yeah,
with torsion bar.
But the camber changes as the
That's
as
okay.
the car goes along.
That's
That's why if
perfect.
you see a Volkswagen Beetle, it's been fully dumped. It's got.
Yeah, that looks cool though, doesn't it?
You
I've
can't-
got the plastic cover. Isn't that a rubber boot? I didn't see
think-
that in the thing. Rubber, maybe it's a plastic cover. Oh, it's a plastic cover. It's got screw holes. Be a clear plastic cover.
Yes.
Keep sand out of your motor.
Supposedly that they said the gearbox was waterproof, but it wasn't. It was sort of splash proof. So,
Yeah. Well, what do you do?
well, I don't know. You don't need it to be waterproof anyway.
Well, I've seen you drive. I question that.
Well, it's more like wave proof.
Here we go.
Yep.
Pinion spur. That's all very
Yeah,
conventional.
and that's not 48 pitch.
No, definitely.
No.
And they're sticking to their guns, aren't they? They
Yeah.
will not go.
Yeah.
Not one bit of imperial on these Japanese cars.
No.
These would have been a first. These E-clips on pistons. Hey, people would have hated that back in the day.
People would have sworn at them as they do now.
And we still have to put up with that on modern touring cars. Still have that.
Yep. Oh no, Yokomos.
No, the buggies are,
Yeah.
but the touring cars, yeah, they're still
Are they?
tiny little
I've
circlets.
I've only built the buggy. And,
Yeah, no.
And it's got the little screw.
Shows you how to bleed the damper units. Here's you get beautiful alloy handle with the plastic roll cage and the cast brackets. Some
Those
really
little
cool
cast
features.
brackets are great.
Then you have the transmission and the torsion bars. Now you have the FRP chassis. And
with a reinforcing plate,
skid plate.
which indicates to me that it wasn't as stiff as what they were hoping,
No.
and it got all bendy.
And here's the front end. There's a really good thing to look at the front end here. So there we have the support. There we have the wound spring coiled up.
Yep.
And then you slide the top suspension arm over the pivot.
So trailing arm fronts on a beam axle. It's virtually a direct copy of a Beetle one.
Not infringing copyright issues, of course.
No,
We're not implying that.
no. On any, I mean,
Here you go.
How about that? We've almost got to the end of these instructions.
Look, it's just like building a V-dub.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Vordura stab.
Voldura stab, yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would have
I
said.
knew that.
Now you have the really funky
Servo saver.
servo saver. That looks prone to give issues.
I've never seen anything like that.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Adjustable turnbuckles on the front.
Yeah.
This is really nice. Tie rods. You can set your toe in or toe out. Then we're coming over to your nice solid bumper.
Isn't it
into
funny
your
how
radio gear.
back in the day we all thought you have to have this massive great front bumper.
Yep.
And now there's nothing.
Nothing, not at all.
Yeah.
Unless you run a touring car and you have a bit of foam, don't you?
Yeah. All the 3D printed collapsible you
Here
want.
you have your radio going into your radio box. And they're trying to keep it watertight. That's why they've got this rubber sleeve, isn't it?
Yeah. These would be a lot easier to get radio gear into nowadays.
There's the foam dunga.
Yep.
Battery guard. So you can cut that up to suit your battery
Yeah.
application.
You're right, a shorty
Got your
pack would go
receiver.
really nice.
And then we have Zeus fasteners style battery lid lockdown. So it's not exactly quick to get your battery in and out.
No. But such things they didn't think about then. Although they should have, because they only had battery packs that was like
last 3 minutes.
1200 milliamps.
So you put your battery tray, so a whole battery tray gets married up to the chassis.
Yeah.
Nice, easy for rebuilding, almost like a modern nitro car. You just take the radio plate off.
Yeah.
Very cool. There you go, your wheels and tyres. You've got your bead locks in here. Putting them together, always not fun for the newbies.
No.
No.
Very
Especially
frustrating.
because they're really hard tyres. You've got to put them together. You've got to squeeze.
And you've got big ass fat fingers like we had, trying to hold those tiny, tiny little screws.
Swear words do often come out, don't they?
Oh, yes.
But they're rewarding. But you do have to use the Tamiya green Loctite on them. You know the green stuff, the snotty stuff? Because if you use the Loctite blue kind of stuff,
Yeah.
it eats the plastic, crazes it and destroys your wheel.
Yum.
So you really have to use the green stuff. There we come over to the battery, fitting the battery in there, suggesting a life. So Mabuchi with a 6.6 volt life.
Oh.
Probably appropriate.
Yes, not going to be quick.
Oh, the body.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
That'd be a good one for BJ to paint because it's outside.
Outside painting.
I do my stuff on
Driving
the inside.
loads. I've heard that.
Yep. And you're correct. Oh,
There's the driver figure.
this poor guy. Flat flesh.
Flat flesh.
Yeah. Can't beat that.
Well, at least they're not calling you fat flesh.
No. Again,
I love little cartoons, right? You're an illustrator. You can appreciate these.
I love those. I love the whole Tamiya manuals.
They tell a story, don't they? They really do.
So good.
Don't drive into the long grass. Don't drive into the water. Look, oh, you're going to burn your hand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this guy's Has he got a flat battery or something?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Maybe he's hot and
that's
tired.
the avoid continuous running.
Yes, he's
Which
puffed
we've
out.
already established that I don't do that.
And then look how happy he is. Give it a good old polish when you finish.
Yeah. Nothing better than giving it a good old poly.
There we go. On, off, on. There you go.
Actually, the on is incorrect because the donger's up the top.
I think it's just a gesture. That's pretty.
A generic
It's
chassis.
telling you to turn the radio on before the car,
Yeah.
and then turn the car off before the radio.
Yep.
Hey, there it is, all finished.
Oh,
I love it.
It's a great thing. Not to be raced unless you want to go really slow, but a lot of people love them. But it's very much a part of history.
Isn't it?
It's very much RC history.
This one and the Sand Scorcher would have to be two of the most iconic Tamiya RCs ever run.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're still doing the re now after quite some time
Quite some time.
is a very good thing. So not a lot expensive either. They're relatively
Yeah,
good
40,
value.
we'll call it 45 years.
Yeah.
Can we call it 45 years?
We can call it 45 years.
Why not?
Yeah, we can. These are still available, and I think they will be for some time. Tamiya are well aware that they've got something on their hands here that people
Do they
like.
ever?
They're a
Well,
fine
I'm
thing.
Brett from Hearns Hobbies.
He's
You're
Brett
Tony-
from Hearns Hobbies. I'm
you're
Tony from
Brett.
Hearns Hobbies.
And thanks for watching us unbox the Buggy Champ.
Racing Buggy Champ.
That's right. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you later.